Hi, everybody. This is Jacki Cox coming to you with J Cox Coaching. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to come today and just give you a little update of what's going on. So my business, formerly known as Swirls LLC, is still in progress right now. I'm working on relaunching and rebranding, and so I will be DBA. So my email and my website will still stay the same at swirlsllc.com. I'm also doing a DBA for J Cox Coaching as well. So just wanted to give you that update. Today, I'm going to be talking about perspective and what that looks like for you and your business when it comes to creativity. As we know, creativity shows up for us in many different areas of our life, and we want to make sure that we're including that as we work towards our business and life goals, and really being able to bring out the new ideas, the motivation, the inspiration. How does creativity show up for you? Also, where does that inspiration come from? So talking about perspective in that, I want to be able to share with you the opportunity for you to say, I get to do this instead of I have to do this. I get to comes from a space of feeling connected to your passion, comes from a space of, yes, this is what I love to do, and this is how I can help people, and this is how I get to help people. It's this phrase that gets you jumping out of bed every morning. And so it's saying I get to do something versus I have to do something brings out a different mindset for you, changing that thinking and changing that space of feeling more and more connected and more grounded into your passion and what you're working towards. I get to means that comes from a space of inspired, comes from a space of being present with it, and what you're working on with your goals and all of the things. So this is one of the tips I'll provide in these creativity tips for you, is being able to have that right perspective of get to versus have to. Ultimately, start asking yourself, what am I working towards? What do I get to do? Who do I get to serve? How do I get to share my passion of what I'm doing towards the goals that you're working on? And ultimately being able to be authentic, being real with people, getting to do something versus having to do something brings an extra fire under your feet a bit. When you get to do something, that means it's coming from a space of you want to do this, you have the opportunity, you have new ideas, and that you are ultimately sharing with people, and getting them to the space of where you want them to go within your business as well. So again, get to versus have to comes from a space of, it feels heavier. It feels more like it's being forced on you. So have to, it comes, again, that's a lot heavier on your shoulders, and it really does come from a space of, then those are the things that tend to get pushed off onto the back burner when it comes to the things that you're working towards. If you have to do something, that feels like, oh, I really do need to, get this done. I have to work on this. Versus get to, that's a new change in perspective. Very different, much lighter, much more, again, connected to your passion of why you're doing this in the first place. You get to take opportunities and embrace them. You get to help people. You get to have the opportunity to have conversations. You get to connect with people. Some of those have to tasks, making sure you get into a space of being able to delegate and, ultimately shining in that way as well. That way, the things you're actually working on within your task list, they get done quicker because you are getting to do them versus having to do them. So putting those A1 priority, those big rocks on your to-do list, making sure those are getting done first, and that way you have time and space to be able to do other things that you are working on. And some of those other have tos come in some of those lower priority items as well then, and really being able to drive yourself forward. So I really encourage you to understand that creativity comes in many different formats. utilize half of our brain for creativity and half of our brain for the science and analytical space. So the creativity side is the connection to your passion, what you're inspired by, what you're motivated by, and comes from a space of helping you feel connected to what you're working towards as well. Those creative ideas comes from that space. Being inspired comes from that space. So knowing that creativity comes in many different formats, and it'll ultimately help you with your creative process. So being creative is a part of this, but just know that creativity shows up so differently for everybody. Being artistic is creative, absolutely. And if you're in that artistic space with talent of photography or painting or art of any sort, then that's a beautiful way of being creative. It's not the only way of being creative, though. I often have clients tell me, well, I'm not creative. Well, let's change that perspective on that. So that, again, this one being about perspective, let's change your perspective on that I'm creative in different ways. I'm creative in how I get fueled. I'm creative in how I connect to people. I'm creative in how I, introduce programs to your clients and things like that. So those are all creative ways, and they're part of the creative process. So I want you to be able to change your perspective around, first of all, the get to versus have to. And then second of all, being able to change your perspective around the fact that yes, you are creative. And I would love for you to repeat that with me at this moment. I am creative. I am creative. So I want you to continue to say that and have some positive affirmations around that and let that creativity flow to you. And when you feel inspired, then you can get to work on those new ideas and then put them into action as you're working towards your life and business goals. So that's my tips for today. And I hope you have a great day and continue that creative thinking, continue to change your perspective around get to versus have to. And again, remember to keep telling yourself that affirmation of I am creative, because I believe it and so should you. So have a great day, everybody.